Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden packs? Look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable MUT coins on the market. And don't forget to use code Ferdy at checkout for 5% off. What's going on, guys? Today, we are talking about the best cards to buy right now in Madden 24 Ultimate Team. I made this video maybe 3 weeks ago, and you guys seem to really like it. So, of course, I appreciate you guys showing love on these new video ideas I've been trying to think up here for Madden 24 Ultimate Team. But our shout out for today's video goes to my man Landon for commenting the emoji on last video. And if you want a chance to be shouted out in the next one, let's comment the hedgehog emoji. And of course, if you are in the 50% of people who watch the videos and are not subscribed, most likely that's you right now watching this video, not subscribed, head down there, hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications. But yes, let's just get started. So before we talk about the good buys, let's show you guys some bad buys. The whole premise of this video is finding cards that have higher production than their coin value. Imagine it like you've probably seen the pictures on Twitter where it's like, name this NFL player, and it's like recognition and talent or whatever, it is. Here it's going to be, how a card plays, how a card feels, how a card plays in game compared to how much they're worth on the auction house. So we're looking for cards that are, that play better than what they're going for right now. So yeah, although Brian Dawkins has crazy production on the field, his amount that he's going for is a little bit egregious, man. The dude's going for 1.7. This would be an example of a bad buy. Another example would be Michael Irvin. Same thing. Card's really good. Probably a top 3 wide receiver in the game right now. But again, no card to me is worth 1 million coins. It's just a bad buy. Dak Prescott, 400K, even here's like a lower scale card. There's cards that can do what Dak can do in this game right now. Even on his own team is a better quarterback. So Dak Prescott, another example of a bad buy for even 400K. And the last guy we have here is Dexter Lawrence. This right here is one of the more egregious ones. And honestly, a lot of these Harvest cards are kind of like that. 600K for Amari Cooper, not worth it. Edgerrin James, 700K, not worth it. Dexter Lawrence, not worth it. Patrick Mahomes, not worth it. None of these cards to me are really worth it besides maybe Surtain on like a God Squad, because a lot of the top end corners are super expensive in this game right now. So that's probably the only one that maybe I'd say, okay, like, all right, makes sense, because there's not that many top tier corners in the game that are 6'2" and can play like him. But outside of that, I mean, it happens a lot with new promos. I will say that right now. And this is probably the worst time to buy, to overspend on cards, because we have Blitz coming out next week. Blitz should tank the market a pretty good amount. So, you don't want to be spending your coins in bad spots, or maybe even you could save them. And don't worry, the cards in this video, they'll still be good buys next week after Blitz. They're still going to be good buys. So let's get started. The first guy we got to talk about here is Troy Aikman. Aikman, quarterback, for this price right here. Keep in mind, shout out to my man. What's going on here? Reusing the Madden mobile players. Okay, I think this has been kind of bugging all day. I'm actually just gonna close that. I've been getting alerts all day. I don't even know what's going on with it. But Troy Aikman, okay, Troy Aikman. If you can buy this card for about 400K, I mean, he's kind of gotten close to that, but 400K, very close to it, would be a big W, because then he's a rental. This card can quick sell for 350,000 coins, meaning you'll barely lose any coins when you feel like moving on from Troy Aikman. And he does get 7 feet lead, one of the best abilities in the game right now. With Gunslinger, whatever you want to run on this card, you can do it. And he is a top 5 quarterback in the game. For this price point, it simply does make sense. The next quarterback we have is Lamar Jackson. Under 200K for this card. Probably still the best non-hot route master Sefty QB in the game right now is Lamar Jackson. But he, like, if him and Patty, right, had, the same abilities, Lamar would be better. Just saying. Just throwing that out there right now. So I'm going to say that right now. And still Mike Vick, to me, can play, can ball out for you. I mean, he's still got 89 speed, still good for a quarterback, still a slinger 1 release, still 90 throw under pressure, still 90 throw power. I mean, this card for, 80K still is a pretty good buy. Okay, at running back, there really isn't that many buys that I really like too much, I'll be honest, but I will say, Deonta Foreman for 300K is a pretty good buy. Looking at the running back landscape right now, I mean, I put Deonta right up there with Ricky Williams and Kenneth Walker. If they didn't have abilities or anything, I'd put them up there. Obviously, Kenneth Walker has the X factor, so I like him that much more. But the fact that Deonta Foreman still gets some angry runs, X factors, as well as jukebox with these stats, I mean, for 300K, it's not a bad buy. I also did put Alvin Kamara up here as well for 240. Really good pass catcher back. The only problem with this card is his stamina, which actually isn't even on here, but his stamina is a problem. But outside of that, I mean, for 240, not a bad buy. And again, I really didn't like that many running backs. I mean, you still have like Bo Jackson, you still have Walter Payton, you still have CMC that you can go buy for super cheap if you want to go that route. These cards I feel like aren't bad buys and shouldn't lose that much value even next week. Next up, we have Isaac Bruce. Isaac Bruce is a card that, slowly was going down and down and down as more people kind of completed the All Madden trial. And now he's 233. 91 speed, 80 acceleration, only one threshold. But, you know, these stats for 233 is a pretty good buy right now. Now it logged me out for some reason, but pretty solid looking buy. Next up, Christian Kirk. Kirk is probably better than Isaac Bruce. He probably is. 91 speed, 89 acceleration, 90 catching traffic, 2 thresholds. This card's super overlooked for 200K. If his name was Odell Beckham Jr. or if his name was Jamar Chase, this card would be used. He would be. Simple as that. You don't see a lot of this card, but he is legit. Super nice card. We still have DK Metcalf on here, 224. He's got 90 speed, 90 acceleration. You know, we all know how well this card plays. We all know. And a little bit higher end for the 300K, we had Justin Jefferson, 91 speed, 87 acceleration, and 3 route running thresholds, and also good after the catch. I like all those buys for wide receiver. At tight end, we have Pitts and Donald Parham, really up to preference, whatever you feel like is better. Both are good buys. Both are similarly priced. Both are 6'6" and 6'8". And both can move pretty well after the catch. They're 2 good cards. Also, George Kittle, if you want more of a run blocking guy too, to me is also a pretty solid buy. And yeah, I did forget about Gronk too. Gronk's kind of like, we are also going to be getting a Gronk card for the Cover Athletes promo whenever the Cover Athletes promo decides to come out. And we are going to get a Gronk, a Marshall Faulk, and one more guy I can't think of right now. I'm blanking on who it was. I'm blanking on it. I'm not going to remember it. I know it was Faulk. I know it was Gronk, and there was one more guy, and I just can't remember it in that preview, but I know someone's going to comment it. Someone will. But Gronk is still pretty, even if it was a little bit slow, he's still a pretty good utility guy. Can play fullback for you. Like, really good run blocking. I'm definitely going to have the next Gronk on my team. I love getting Gronk cards. I love tight ends that can block and also run routes and be big bodies. So Gronk's going to be that. And I will trade some speed for that as well. Going into the offensive line, this might be the best buy on here. Charles Cross is still the best. Like, might still be the best offensive lineman in the game right now. Maybe John Runyon's close because John Runyon is also still fast. But speed is so important on linemen. I cannot, like, if you have these slow linemen right now, go get Charles Cross. Dude makes a huge difference. He makes a huge difference getting to that second level. And I've been someone that's always kind of talked about speed on the offensive line, and it's so important. Charles Cross, 76 speed is still a monster. And even if you throw picks too, you know, they can make tackles. So Charles Cross for 100K, no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. Quentin Nelson, I don't love this buy, but for left guards, he's probably the best buy. I don't love it, to be honest. I don't love it. And at guard, you can kind of hide like a team builder, so maybe just do that. You know, I don't love the buy. Center, Creed Humphrey, a lot of you may have him BND, but he's pretty solid. Definitely can get the job done. Next up, we have Redux David Castro. This card's actually pretty good. 170 about, and this is his Redux card with these stats. Pretty decent there. And for right tackle, we have Rob Havenstein, I think you say something like that. But he's pretty good stats. Over 90 almost everywhere. Kind of low pass block finesse and pass block power, but over 90 in all these stats here, like lead block, impact block, kind of has the stats of like a higher overall card, to be honest. So I do like Rob Havenstein a lot. Okay, we're now into defense. Getting started here with some edge rushers. We have the right end, Myles Garrett. 86 speed, 83 acceleration. This card plays crazy. Traits are perfect. 91 power move, great at stopping the run. For 250, it's tough to beat what this card can do. You can even play him at defensive tackle as well if you want to go that route. But speaking of defensive tackles, I like the Gravedigger card. Still debatably the best defensive tackle in the game right now. I think, actually, you can't debate it because William Perry's in the game. Perry is just better than him, but Gravedigger with that 91 acceleration is nutty for that price tag. This card's going to play a lot better. Throw that inside stuff on him. He's going to go crazy. Next up, we have Cornelius Bennett. Traits are perfect with over 92 power move, good tackling stats, and even can play, 81 catching is not bad with 88 speed. This card does play pretty well too. Next up, we have Dave Robinson. This guy's a little bit phased out, but if you are running 6'1", and you do need that drop, that drop outside linebacker that can play zone, can kind of do both things. We have 90-man coverage, 90 zone coverage, 91 hit power, 90 block shed, 88 speed. Dave Robinson. Going for under 150 is kind of crazy. Middle linebacker user, we have Luke Kuechly, lurk artist. He's still probably the best middle linebacker user in the game right now with 90 zone coverage, great tackling stats, good size, 6'3". Can even rush the passer if you want to go that route too and kind of use him like a Dave Robinson if you want to do that and then actually just use your safety. Or even use this guy right here, Derek Brooks. Derek Brooks is kind of the same spiel I gave you with Troy Aikman, where if you can get him closer to 400, it's a good buy. To me, he's probably the top 3 defensive card in the game right now. He's probably top 3 defensive card. This guy can do everything. Can play man, can play zone, can be an elite user. I've been playing some games off stream, offline, and he runs with wide receivers. Like, you kind of see a receiver late. He can get there, and with lurk artist, at 6 foot, he feels good, he plays good, and also does get the avalanche X factor. After you get an interception, that's going to light up. The next hit sticks a fumble. it's really tough sometimes. So against Derrick Brooks, this card, like I said, top 3 defensive card in the game right now, going for this price. If you can get him obviously closer to 400, that's going to be the move. But Derrick Brooks is an absolute stud. Sticking with edge rushers here, we got Lawrence Taylor. Of course, he's always a pretty good buy, under 100K. Good speed, good traits. Next up, we have our corner. So corner, you are going to have to shell out some coin if you want to have good cornerbacks in this year's game. You know, the cornerbacks are very, you know, it's kind of been a position that's really kind of progressed fast in my opinion. But Ken Riley's not bad. I know he's 5'11", but good hit power, good speed, good acceleration, can play man, can play zone and 90 press. For 300K, not bad. Looking at the cornerback landscape. We also saw Sauce Gardner here, 91 speed, 88 acceleration, 6'3", can play man, can play zone, can press. But you see right here, I mean, if we, DRC is 600K, Pat Surtain 600K, Champ Bailey 400K, Doherty 450, Kenny Moore, he's a little small. They keep Talib even he's like 400K, 350-ish on his. He's actually just over 400 still. Hopefully you guys got Tariq Woolen for free. But if you didn't, the cornerback's a quite expensive position. So Sauce Gardner definitely makes it as well. Night Train Lane, I think, makes it as well, even though he doesn't get 90 zone coverage. This card plays amazing for me in man-to-man coverage. He plays crazy, 92 speed, 92 acceleration, can hit, can stop the run. I love cards like that. We have Jalen Johnson here as well for 233. Even Night Train 250, 2 good buys right there. 91 speed there. Can play zone, can press. And then now we have our safeties. We have Ed Reed. Ed Reed for 300K. To me, Ed Reed's probably still a top 3 safety in the game right now. Probably top 4, top 5. Definitely top 5. He's definitely a top 5 safety in the game right now in general, free and strong. So, the fact he's over for only 300K, it's a pretty good buy. I mean, this card plays crazy. Great catching stats. Zone, can hit for an Ed Reed card. A good impact block. Even good block shed for a safety, which you don't see often. Next up, we have Derwin James. Kind of the same spiel I gave you with Derrick Brooks and Troy Aikman. If you can get this guy close to quick sell value. And make sure you're not buying his Redux. Make sure you're buying this card right here. And again, he's probably a better user at this point, but, good X factors and things like that on Derwin James. And for our final safety, we have Pat Tillman. Kind of the same thing with Ed Reed. Might be a little bit expensive, but it's a good value buy, right? He's one of the best safeties in the game right now. 5'11", can play that crazy zone coverage, good against the run. And look at the hit power, the block shot, the impact block, the tackling, the speed, the acceleration. I mean, he's able to do all those things. And finally, for our last good buy, we have the 88 overall Martin Gramatica with 90 kick power going for under 100K. So let me know down in the comment section, did I miss anybody? I'm pretty happy with this list. I think it turned out pretty well. And there's a bunch of good buys right now in this game. Like if you build a team with these good buys, or maybe build some teams around these good buys, you can build a pretty efficient top tier team without having to shell out the millions of coins that you might expect you have to buy or expect you're gonna have to spend, right? I mean, there's some pretty solid names in here, some pretty top tier cards that are actually made this video this go around. So I'll probably update this video a little bit shorter, maybe every 2 weeks, or maybe in 2 weeks after Blitz comes out, and maybe after Cover Athletes comes out. That's the plan, because I do think the market's gonna change a little bit. But let me know down in the comment section. You'll be adding any of these cards to your squad over the weekend into next week. And as always, I'll see you boys in the next one.